So if I walked into a gym tomorrow and someone said to me that you can only use 5 exercises for the rest of your life, here's the 5 I'm picking. Deadlifts, bench press, pull-ups, behind the body cable lateral raise, and split squats. Now, that's not a list that most people would write. There's no squat in there, there's no overhead press in there, there's no barbell row, and I've got a cable lateral raise in there, and split squats for fuck's sake. But here's the thing, I thought about this for a while, and if I can only pick 5 exercises, then each exercise needs to be in there for a reason. We need to make sure that we're covering most of the body parts, we're covering most movement patterns, and that nothing in there's like redundant, like it doesn't need to be there. So let me talk you through how I came to this conclusion. Now, deadlifts, this is an obvious one because it covers a lot of ground, and I think this would be in a lot of people's lists, but for me, it's actually a personal favorite. I really do just like doing these. Now, I tried to not let that get in the way when I was picking this list, but it made sense on both fronts. It made sense from the point of view that I enjoyed doing it, and I think when you enjoy doing an exercise, you're always going to get on better with it, you're always going to progress it more, but also the amount of muscles that we're training here, I mean, like just everything in your posterior chain, everything in the back of your body is getting trained here. We're getting so much bang for our buck when it comes to this exercise, and like a lot of people say, oh, but deadlifts they're too fatiguing, you know, the CNS stress, like bore off, mate. Like, come on to fuck. Like, ultimately, a deadlift is a great exercise that you can get a lot out of. So if it's not in your program, I would suggest putting it in there. Next up is the bench press. And again, personal favorite, enjoy doing these. I like my compound lifts, but again, it makes a lot of sense because we're getting obviously pecs in there, we're getting front delts in there, we're getting our triceps in there, we're getting a lot of bang for our buck when it comes to this exercise. And you know, a lot of people would want to put an overhead press in their top 5, but ultimately, like, what does overhead press give us that bench press isn't already doing? We're getting a lot of front delts when it comes to training our bench press anyway, so why do we need a specific exercise that's dedicated to doing your front delts? Like, what is the point in that? Like, even in my programming, when I look at my programming across 5 days, I haven't got a single overhead press in there because I just think it's an unnecessary and redundant movement for anyone who's trying to build muscle, unless you have really bad front delts and that's something you want to work on. But I'm yet to meet a person that has that situation, because every time you press, like when you do horizontal presses for chest, you're getting front delts in there anyway, so it never tends to be a problem in my opinion. So this is something, if you are struggling to fit everything into your program, overhead pressing is something that I would sacrifice personally. Okay, moving on to pull-ups. I needed something that was some sort of like vertical pull, and pull-ups are just fun. Again, I enjoy this exercise. Luckily for me, the exercises I enjoy doing have got a lot of bang for your buck. Like, obviously with pull-ups, you can get a lot of lats out of this, you can get a lot of upper back out of this, you can get a lot of bicep out of this. You can be versatile with this. You can move yourself around and position yourself and do your pull-ups differently depending on what you're wanting to hit. If you're wanting to get a bit more upper back in there, you might want to make it more of a wide grip pull-up. If you want to make it a bit more lat focused, you might go shoulder width a little bit narrower, and you might lean back a little bit, and then you can make it more of a kind of like almost like a row, but we're using the pull-up bar to do it. If you want to do your biceps, again, you can make it work for that. It's a very, very versatile exercise. There's a lot you can do with pull-ups that you can't just do with a traditional like row or something like that. So that's why I put that in there, and again, it comes down to enjoyment. I enjoy doing them, and yeah, they're fun. Okay, so moving on to one of the more like kind of out there options that I picked, the behind the body cable lateral raise. It's even quite hard to say that one, never mind body do it. Now, I had to put some sort of lateral raise in there because, you know, I want my delts to grow. Like, that's an area of my body that I want to build up. I want big shoulders, and as I say, I don't feel the need to put in a specific exercise for front delts. It's more side delts that I feel that I need to work on, and that's something that I want to put more into in my training. So if I'm picking a lateral raise variation, I'm going to pick a cable one. Why? Because if I pick a dumbbell variation, bear in mind with dumbbells you can move your body position to kind of conquer this, but if you're doing a traditional dumbbell lateral raise, what happens is it's really hard at the top and it's really easy at the bottom. Okay, so the profile of that exercise is a mismatch because we're actually strongest at the start and we're going to be weakest at the top. So it's like, you know, the opposites almost. So we've not got that consistent resistance profile there. Whereas when it comes to doing cables, we can make the cables be set up so that they start harder at the beginning and they get easier at the top. But also for me, this is just like a feel factor too. So like when it comes to doing lateral raises, often when I'm doing like dumbbell lateral raises, it takes a lot before I get any sensation there. Whereas when I go to cables, like my side delts will just light up from the very start. And specifically when I do the behind the body cable lateral raise, it must be something to do with the fiber arrangements in my side delts, because when I do the behind the body version, they just light up. And yeah, I feel like I'm getting a lot out of that movement. So for me, it's a really, really good movement, and it would definitely be in my top 5. And then finally, the most controversial of them all, a split squat. Like, I don't even like split squats, but it just made too much sense. You can do, you know, front foot elevated split squat, you can do Bulgarian split squat, you can do contralateral loaded split squat. You can do a lot with your split squats. You can make them quad focused, you can make them glute focused. There's a lot of bang for your buck within that exercise. And again, if I only had 5 exercises, I've not really put anything in there that works the quads too much. I mean, the deadlift will to some degree, but like, it's not like a quad focused exercise. So I could use the split squat as something to help me warm up for deadlifts for starters, because also it gets the hips moving quite well, keeps you fairly mobile. You can get into like your hip flexors on one side, and again, we're getting like a bit of internal and external rotation of the hips as we go through the movement. So, you know, from a warming up point of view, it's really good, but also I can use that to focus on my quads if I want to. I can use it to focus on my glutes if I want to. I'm getting like unilateral progression on each side as well, making sure we're like kind of evening out in terms of strength. So as much as they're not my favorite exercise to do, they're very versatile, and there's a lot you can do with them. So they have to make it into the top 5. And that's it. Those are the 5 exercises that I would choose if I had to be stuck with those ones forever, okay? I feel like I could train my physique on that and I wouldn't lose any muscle. In fact, I think I could still progress on that. I think I'd do very well with that. So what would you put in there? What have I missed that you would have put in there? Things that stand out to me is the squat, for example. Obviously, I didn't put an actual squat in there, but I think the split squat just almost makes it redundant. Between the split squat and the deadlift, it just kind of makes it redundant. And again, it's an exercise that I enjoy doing. I like doing barbell squats, but for me, it just didn't have enough to make it in that top 5. You know, it's tough times out there. You know, you need to have a lot going for you to get in there. Overhead press, I've already mentioned. I just don't see the point in it. It's not something that, like, you know, it's not that I don't enjoy it. I'm not going to say I don't enjoy it, but like, it's definitely thrown up a few niggles along the way, and like, it's not something you can't get elsewhere. So I just don't see the point in it. Barbell row, controversial, leaving that one out. You know, if there's a number 6, I'd probably have some sort of row in there. So it's only just missed out, but ultimately, I feel like the way I thought about this is what would happen to my physique if I actually only done these 5 exercises. I'm quite confident I would at least hold on to the muscle that I've got, if not build more muscle, using the 5 exercises that I mentioned. And I didn't feel that I needed to put barbell row in there for that to happen. And again, it's not that I'm saying these exercises are bad, apart from overhead press, but it's just saying that they didn't make it into the top 5. Like, you know, if I only had 5 exercises, they're not making it into there, okay? They're still good enough exercises, and they can still all be used within the right programming and within the right context. Okay, so that's it, guys. If you've watched till the very end, make sure you head over to the link in my description. You can download my free abs guide that teaches you exactly how to get shredded abs and also how to keep them, which is the bit that most people miss out. And the really cool thing about this is we've also got the abs timeline calculator in there too. So it literally takes you from where you are to where you want to be and how much body fat you need to lose each week to make that happen. So go check it out. It's free to download. The link's in the description.